Live from America's News headquarters, I'm Jackie Ibanez. A unanimous decision by the UN Security Council. All 15 members strongly condemning North Korea for 4 ballistic missile launches in July and August. The Security Council statement calling the launches grave violations of a ban on all ballistic missile activity. The Council urging member states to implement sanctions against Pyongyang, including the latest and toughest measures imposed by Council back in March. 32-year-old Nikia Aldridge is one of Chicago's latest shooting victims. She was shot and killed Friday while pushing her baby in a stroller on the city's south side. An unidentified man with her was the apparent target. Aldridge was a cousin of Chicago Bulls basketball star Dwayne Wade, who tweeted that 4 kids are now motherless because of a senseless act of gun violence. There have been at least 3 shooting deaths so far this weekend in Chicago. The city is nearing its all-time record of 430 set just last year. The State Department tells the Associated Press it won't be able to provide the Hillary Clinton material it is seeking before the election. The department is under a court order to provide the AP with detailed daily schedules showing meetings Clinton had while she was Secretary of State. State Department lawyers now say they will need until the end of the year. And welcome news from Amtrak from Vice President Joe Biden yesterday. Biden telling the railroad it's getting a loan of nearly $2.5 billion from the U.S. Transportation Department. The money will enable Amtrak to buy new trains, upgrade platforms, and make much-needed improvements along the busy Northeast corridor. Biden making the announcement at the Amtrak station in Wilmington, which is named after his late son. I'm Jackie Ibanez. Now back to Red Eye for all of your headlines. Remember to log on to foxnews.com. You're watching the most powerful name in news, Fox News Channel. Have a great night.
So you counsel finesse.
Yeah, I finesse.
What do they call you, chum?
Arthur?
Arthur! And this is your costume?
They're my clothes. Yeah, sure.
Well, we'll cross that bridge after we burned it.
That was a scene from the new Amazon video pilot for The Tick, which you can watch right now. Not right now, wait until after this show is over, but then watch it. Joining us now is one of the stars of the show, Griffin Newman. Griffin, thanks so much for being here.
Thank you so much for having me here.
I appreciate this.
Yeah.
All right, for viewers who don't know, give a little history of The Tick.
Yeah, The Tick was created as like a little character for a comic book store's newsletter by Ben Edlund when he was 16 years old, and then a couple years later when the Ninja Turtles got huge and everyone was trying to do that, they said to him, why don't you write a whole comic book out of this guy?
Right.
And it became an underground success, which then became a cartoon show. Years later became a sitcom on Fox. The 2 previous versions were on the Fox network, and now it has been revived for the 3rd time as a sort of weird satire of the current superhero landscape we have.
So tell me, you play Arthur, who is not the title character. The title character is obviously The Tick, played by the great Peter Serafinowicz. But from watching the pilot here, it seems like this time around, Arthur is the main character, or at least he's the point of view character.
Yeah. I think the idea was to try to do a superhero show from the perspective of the least super person.
Right.
You know?
Right. Arthur is not well.
He's not well. He's not doing great.
No.
And he hasn't been doing well historically throughout his life. And he's got no power of his own.
Right.
Other than sort of a keen sense of observation that also might be fueled by paranoid delusion.
Sure.
I mean, that's the thing. He's very aware. Maybe some things that aren't totally happening.
Right.
Yeah, but he's sort of this guy who has this sort of drive and this sense of justice, but no ability to do anything about it, and has been told his entire life that he has no ability or value. Right. And this crazy 7-foot-tall blue guy shows up out of nowhere and tells him, you're supposed to be my sidekick.
So Arthur believes that a supervillain who the world believes is dead is still alive and is basically running crime in the city.
Right. He's like a truther for supervillain conspiracies. Yes. Yeah, which is not a popular opinion to have.
Right.
Yeah, and the Tick is sort of the only guy he meets who tells him, like, you're right, I agree with you, and I think you can do something about it. And fighting that is the fact that the guy saying that is clearly insane as well, and looks like a giant blue bug.
The Tick himself.
Right. Yeah. So there's a little bit of counterbalance there of who he should listen to.
Yeah.
You know?
I noticed there were times when Serafinowicz's delivery seemed to channel Adam West's Batman.
Definitely. Yeah.
Was that a note you gave him? Did you tell him to do that?
I gave him a lot of notes.
That's what I figured.
Yeah. That's the thing that's very clear when people are interested in hiring me is I don't take direction, and I offer direction to all my co-stars.
Wow.
And I'm surprised they hired me.
Yeah.
Because I'm very difficult and very open about that from the get-go.
Oh, you get 10 comedy points for that.
Thank you very much.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I don't know if I'm supposed to talk about this or not. The pilot is great. You got to go watch it.
Please.
There are hints in the pilot. I don't think this is a spoiler because it's there in the pilot. That the tick might not be real. That he might be a figment of Arthur's imagination, like a Tyler Durden, Mr. Robot kind of thing. Is that going to be a running mystery through the series?
I think so. I mean, the great Ben Edlund is very cryptic and mysterious, and he speaks kind of like the tick. He speaks in these very sort of verbose monologues, and so you kind of have to parse out what he's actually saying sometimes. Right. But I think that's sort of a central conceit of that. I mean, it's this guy having an opportunity to prove that he isn't crazy. For once, everyone's told him you're insane, you have to drop this theory that this guy, the terror, is still alive.
Right.
And here's someone saying, I can do something about it, I can help you prove that you're right. But there's a chance that this guy actually is the greatest proof that everyone else has ever had that he's crazy.
Right.
So I think the show's going to continue fighting in that balance.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Just so our viewers know, so this pilot's on Amazon Video. You can go watch it now. And then how do they decide whether it becomes a series?
They you know, lick their finger and they hold it up to the wind. You know, they blow into a conch shell and see what birds fly to them. I mean, Amazon is very mystic, you know. They're very in touch with the elements.
But people need to go watch the pilot
Definitely,
or it's not going to...
No,
that's what I'm trying to get you to say here, Griffin.
Thing. Yes.
Come on,
it is
online. Work with me.
It is online for free on Amazon, whether or not you have a Prime membership until September 19th.
Okay.
And then they look at how many people watch it, what the social media response is like. You can rate it. You can fill out a survey. There are lots of things. But Amazon, they're like Big Brother. So, I mean, if you think that it's good, they'll
You are not doing a good job here.
I think I'm doing a great job. I'm giving them a lot of credit. They're Big Brother. It takes a lot of work to do that.
That's a fair point.
Yeah, Netflix isn't listening to our walls.
True.
You know, they're not listening to our phone calls.
Right. They don't have Alexa in everyone's
Amazon's a great company. I'm happy to have them as our corporate overlord.
All right. Thanks a lot, Griffin.
Yes,
I have so many more questions for you, but I'm out of time. Go watch The Tick on Amazon. It's great. We'll be right back with more Red Eye. On the next Red Eye, Bill McMorris, KT McFarland, Tim Dillon, Steven Cruiser, and the return of Tom Shalhoub. Join me, panel. Boo! Which sorority should I join? It's a question I get a lot from the college co-eds I counsel in my spare time and for no charge. Well, few sororities can match the spirit and enthusiasm of Alpha Delta Pi at the University of Texas at Austin. Meet Maddie, Haley, and Jean Marie E. and enjoy the recruitment video from hell.
Hi, I'm Maddie, recruitment vice president.
I'm Haley, chapter president. I'm Jean Marie, formal recruitment chair. We've been waiting for you all summer, and we're so glad you're finally here. Boom, boom, I wanna go 85. Boom, boom, and if that ain't a lie. Boom, boom, I wanna go 85. I'm Jim. Boom, boom, I wanna wear white and blue. Boom, boom, and wear that diamond too. Boom, boom, I wanna go 85. I'm Jim.
Andrew, any thoughts?
First of all, Maddie's voice, did you hear that?
Yeah.
Oh. Dude, I love that, like, whorish rasp. Oh my God, there's nothing hotter than that.
Man, we are finding out so much about you tonight.
So if she would just pee, that'd be I'm into this. It looks like just a whole bunch of them are just waiting for plan B. They're like, come on, give it to me, give it to me, give it to me.
Sam, this was scarier. This was scarier than The Shining. It was very Shining with the opening the doors. There was like a very Kubrick feel to it. Yeah.
I also felt like when they were waving their fingers like this, it was kind of like arachnophobia a little bit. I feel like there was like when they come down from the shower or something. I don't know. I feel like there could be something genius about this because maybe we're not the target, right? Like we're a bunch
probably not
of grown people. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But if I'm like 17 years old and I'm me when I was 17, which I'll tell you something in confidence, I wasn't getting laid a lot, believe that or not.
A lot, that's fine.
Right. But I feel like this is a great recruitment tool. Like if there's a room
For 17-year-old virginal boys?
Yeah, because all those girls are just there waiting for you. Come, we're at this college.
No, they're trying to recruit girls. You understand that, right?
That's not true.
You don't think so?
No, the college is putting it out.
Okay.
So the guys that can't get laid know that there's houses full of girls that have the hoary rasp.
Interesting.
That are like, come join us.
Right.
And, you know, it's like it's in Texas. Everybody, all the girls look like they're from Texas. It's an exciting thing.
Well, all right. Remy, would you want these women as your sisters, sorority or otherwise?
You know, surprisingly, I never really connected with girls in sororities. You know, sororities were not my thing. There was no Greek life at Boston College, which is where I went undergrad. And yeah, so I don't get it. It kind of spooked me out a little bit.
Yeah.
I wasn't really sure what I was looking at, and I thought it was a joke at first. But I think you're right. I think you're onto something. This is really about getting guys.
By the way, there are blondes and brunettes.
So it is diverse, you're saying.
Right.
They have people of hair color.
Yeah, somebody for everybody. There's a blonde, there's a brunette, whatever you like.
Matt, did this make you want to go back to college, or is it just going to give you
It made me very,
nightmare
very
fuel?
happy that I was kicked out for bad grades. I did something right. Going back to The Shining, I mean, I thought that there must be like a second take where they just look at the camera and say, come play with us.
Yeah, exactly.
And Maddie, can we see Maddie again?
Please.
Probably not. I don't think we have that technology.
I would love that.
I don't like to talk about people's physical appearances because that's rude.
Sure.
But she just was a strange kind of creature. Like her head and neck worked funny. I mean,
How dare you?
No, I mean, just like
I loved it.
How do you go from I don't like to talk about people's physical appearance because it's rude to she is a strange creature
just
whose head and neck don't
the parts
fit?
worked funny.
Listen, those are the ways.
Do you think it was CGI?
To work, man.
It might have been.
Would it possibly CGI?
It's like the moon landing. It's suspect.
Or maybe like The Ring.
This is
I think the panel should just get credit for taking that Shining reference and nobody making a joke about all the girls living in the same house in that first scene where the blood comes out. Nobody did that, and I think that means we're all
good for.
Aren't we good people?
We are good people. Before I go, Sam.
Yeah.
How many times a week would you say you eat Chick-fil-A?
Probably at least 3.
Okay, because we see you walking down the damn block all the time.
Do you?
Yeah.
It's good to be noticed.
It's a little frightening. Yeah, I hear about it all the time.
It's good to be noticed.
Yeah. All right.